Breaking news. The news today, Andrew makes more videos about Germany. Oh, okay. Hello and welcome back to another video about German culture. I'm your host, Andro, also known as Andromada, and today we talk about something that is very dear to my heart, and that is, obviously, DÖNER KEBAB in Germany. You might have heard DÖNER KEBAB in a lot of other countries, and you might have a picture of what a DÖNER KEBAB is, but I'm gonna talk about the German DÖNER KEBAB, which is, in my eyes, the original DÖNER KEBAB. If you didn't know, the Döner, which is also called the Döner, in German, because there's an umlaut. If you look at the word right here, there's an umlaut somewhere around there. An umlaut is the O with the dots over it, if you didn't know. DÖNER KEBAB or DÖNER KEBAB is the #1 fast food in Germany. It is a Turkish dish, technically. It was invented in Germany, so it technically is a German dish. For the sake of the argument, let's call it a half German, half Turkish dish. There you go. In my eyes, a German Döner is unique and nothing is comparable to a German Döner. I've been to several countries and the Döner you have is not really the Döner we have in Germany. For example, in the UK. In the UK, the Döner actually has a kind of a bad stigma. The thing is, in the UK, Döner is seen as a food that you eat when you're drunk. Like super drunk and you're hungry and you need to get something to eat, you just get a Döner or Doner. People in the UK call it DÖNER KEBAB. Yeah, no. In my eyes, a DÖNER KEBAB is fine dining. Okay, maybe not fine dining. It is something that is very delicious and very nice to eat. Preferably Thursday, which is also known as Dönerstag. So where did Döner come from? And why did it come to Germany? So let's find out, shall we? It's originated from Anatolia. Technically the Ottoman Empire, but nowadays known as Turkey. The first thing they had in Anatolia was the shish kebab, which is basically a skewer with meat pieces on it, which was grilled horizontally over a flame. And then this guy called Hamdi got the glorious idea to put the spit vertically, and instead of cutting the meat in blocks, he cut it into slices and then marinated those with onions, salt, pepper, spicy paprika, cumin, and then he would take those meat slices and layer them on the spit, starting with the meat from the leg, then the clod, which is from the shoulder of the lamb, and then he would put the fillet from the meat on top, making this kind of conical shaped meat thing. And then he built an oven out of bricks and clay, and then he took some oak wood coal and just lit that shit on fire, and then he took this giant oversized knife, started cutting it and collecting it in a shovel, and then he served that meat with rice, tomatoes, cucumber, radish, and a hot pepper. So that is definitely a step to the right direction. But then, about 25 years later, this guy called Iskender came, and he had the amazing idea of taking minced lamb meat and layering it with the thin slices of lamb meat. And that kind of resembles what we know of Döner nowadays. He sliced the meat with an oversized knife, and this is my favorite part, instead of putting it on a plate, he put it in a bread with yogurt and melted butter. And that is nowadays called the Iskender Kebab. And that resembles pretty closely what a Döner is nowadays. All this history is not really proven though, and people are actually not sure if those are the actual inventors of the Döner, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt and thank them for kickstarting the Döner revolution in Germany. Not to mention, there are also other dishes that are very similar to DÖNER KEBAB, like the Arabian shawarma or the Greek gyro, which is kind of eerily similar. So let's take this information we learned about Iskender and Hamdi with a grain of salt. So yeah, by now you're probably wondering why and how it came to Germany. And if you would let me fucking speak, then I would tell you, so calm the fuck down, okay? So basically, because Germany needed a lot of workers in the 60s, there were a lot of Turkish guest workers coming to Germany. There's more to the history of Turkish-German friendship, but I won't go into that too much. Apparently, after a statement of the Turkish Döner Producer Association, it was a Turkish immigrant called Kadir Numan, which came to Germany to open up his doner shop in the early 70s in Berlin and served the doner meat with onions sandwiched in a flatbread instead of a plate. Other sources say that someone else called Nevzat Salim was already selling doner in flatbread in Germany, and that in 1969. Not even in Berlin. He sold it in Baden-Württemberg, which is in the southwest of Germany. Either way, one thing came after the other, and someone, I'm not gonna say who, got the idea of taking that idea and Germanizing it. So the doner we know today has quite a lot of ingredients compared to its old school counterpart. There are regional differences depending on where you go in Germany, but I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good example of a typical West German doner kebab. So first we have this flatbread that is cut in half and then put in a toaster to get it nice and crunchy. Then they take that, cut into it and make kind of like a red pocket out of it. So in West Germany we usually have two sauces with our doner. One is a red, which is a little bit like a cocktail sauce, and the other one is white, which is like a yogurty kind of sauce. So they take those sauces and spread them on the inside of the bread pocket that we have to make it nice and moist. Then you can have either chicken or veal meat, and they put that on the bottom of the doner. Then they usually put lettuce, tomatoes, cucumber, onions, white cabbage, red cabbage, and then another layer of sauce on top. You also sometimes get this little pepper on top, and if you go to really good doner places, you also get some white cheese on it, which is a little bit like feta. And then this is what you end up with. We see the nice doner kebab in its bread, some sauce on it. You see the cabbage, the vegetables, and the meat. Of course, you don't have to have all the ingredients on it. You can make it just the way you like it, basically. You go to the doner man and he, depending on what you like, he'll put no cabbage on it, no onions or whatever. It's kind of like Subway in that regard. So now that you know what it is, let me show you how to order one if you ever come to Germany. It starts with you going into the store, and usually you go in, you say, you know, hallo or guten Tag, and then the doner man looks at you and he usually either says two things. So if you look like a guy, he's gonna say, hallo bitteschön junger Mann, and if you're a girl, then he's gonna say, hallo bitteschön junge Frau. And that kind of means like, hi, what would you like, young woman or young man? By the way, he says that to everyone, no matter how old you are. I don't know why. So now that you have exchanged your greeting and your doner man has asked you what you want, let me show you how to order. By the way, this is a secret top trip to make your order as fast as possible. What you need to say is, and I'm not joking, even though it's totally grammatically incorrect, is Döner mit alles und scharf. It's one word. Döner mit alles und scharf. Or you can say Döner mit alles ohne scharf. Basically try to say it as fast as possible. And that just means doner with everything with spicy, or doner with everything no spicy, which is this weird red powder they put on top. Then he'll ask you what meat you want, and you either choose between Kalb oder Hähnchen, which is veal or chicken. And boom, you're done! He makes your doner, you pay, you fucking get out under 5 minutes. Top tip. If you want to go the slow route, you can do that as well. Look at it kind of like Subway and you'll be fine. And if you have any questions, your doner man is there to help you. So doner is not just a fast food. It has sprouted a lifestyle, a culture, if you will. And one of my favorite subreddits, r/doner, has been born. There's a lot of memes and jokes on that sub, and they even have something called a Dönerstag. And what they do on a Dönerstag is they basically just go and eat doner, take a picture of it and tell them like where they got it from and if it tastes good or not, kind of make like a review thing. So let's delve into what makes my favorite fast food, the Döner Kebab, so fucking good. And because it's easier to have a list of things that you like, I'll make a top 5 list with the reasons why I think doner is the best fast food in the world.
Number 5. It's healthy.
Yes. The number 1 fast food of Germany isn't actually much of a fast food. Usually fast food is quite unhealthy, but doner is an exception. With its addition of vegetables like white cabbage, red cabbage, onions, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, it is actually way better for you than some kind of cheeseburger from McDonald's or something. And if you leave the sauce away, which is usually high in sugar and fat, it's even better for you.
Number 4. Availability.
You can get doner everywhere. No matter where you go in Germany, there will be doner shops everywhere. So you have a giant selection of doner shops you can go to eat. I live in a fairly small town in Germany, and I have at least 8 different doner shops I could go to.
Number 3. Variety.
With the amount of different and independently owned doner shops, the selection is insane. every doner will taste different. So you can find your favorite kind of doner fairly quickly. Depending on where you go, they might put more sauce on it, more meat, less vegetables, more whatever. Some have different sauces even, some use interesting ingredients, and there's even vegan doners, which I've tried before, and they don't actually taste that bad. So doner is for everyone.
Number 2. The price.
So how much do you usually pay for a nice meal at McDonald's, Burger King, or other fast food places? And how much do they fill you up? I'd say you usually pay 5 or up to 8 euros for a pretty big meal at those places. And they fill you up pretty well, but personally, when I eat McDonald's, I get hungry after like 2 hours. What if I told you that all you had to pay in order to feel full for several hours was less than 5 euros? Doner is dirt cheap compared to other fast foods. A good doner will cost you around 3.50 to 3.90 over here. Including a drink, which is usually like €1, it'll be 4.50 or 4.90 for a meal that fills you up for hours. Beat that, America.
Number 1. The taste.
This might be more of a personal preference, but I think doner is one of the best tasting meals that you can eat. The crunchy bread, the fresh and juicy vegetables, the succulent meat, and the creamy sauce is what makes it so perfect. Just thinking about it makes me hungry. So in my mind, a doner is the perfect mix of flavor and texture. The value and price is unbeatable, and you can get it almost everywhere, and it's even good for you. So what more do you want? So, come to Germany, get a doner, and let's celebrate the Turkish and German friendship. I'm glad for living in a country that is so welcoming to other cultures and cuisines, and I hope that will never change. On that note, let's keep the conversation going. Have you ever had a German doner before? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video and you want more like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to click that little bell icon down there so you get notified whenever a new juicy upload hits your subscriptions. I also have a Discord server. If you ever feel lonely and you need someone to talk to, just join us. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye!